Hey there YouTube, Travis here. Welcome to my 4Runner. So here it is. Here's my new to me 1989 Toyota 4Runner. So it's no secret that I'm a sucker for these old Toyotas. I know those of you like to follow my cars as well as my mopeds. I remember that video I made about my Camry. Well, I ended up selling that and paying off pretty much basically everything I owed my parents, which was a pretty good feeling. So that meant for a while, my daily driver was my winter beater. Yep, for a while I was dailying the 1985 Toyota Land Cruiser FJ60. Man, that was a very exciting part of my life. But I drove that till the inspection ran out and then I sold it. And I actually went for a while without any kind of car. I just ripped mopeds and rode bicycles, and that was all good, but I missed being able to get out of town whenever I wanted to. So I finally found this on Craigslist for $500, and I'll go a little bit into, you know, what the situation is, why I paid so little for it, and what it needs. But this has been serving me well for the past 6 months. I'm sorry I'm just getting around to making a video of it now, but I really like this truck. I think I'm going to keep this one for the long haul. Let's take a closer look. I think what I like most about this truck is simplicity. Crank windows, no air conditioning. This one was so base model that it even came from the factory without a tachometer. I went ahead and put on one of these little Sun Pro tachs that you can get at Advanced Auto, so I like to be able to see what revs I'm running at. More importantly, because with this one, so this is the 5-speed manual 4-wheel drive 4-cylinder, which is, in my opinion, the most desirable of them all. Anyway, I put this Pioneer stereo in here. This is just like the $60 cheapest one you can get. All I wanted is a place where I could plug in my phone. New speakers, they got little 4 inches up front, and then I fitted 5 1/4 in the rear. Has the option for air conditioning. Of course it does not work, and of course it is R12, but that's okay. You saw earlier we've got 219 on the clock. I've put about 2,000 miles on it since I've owned it, mostly trouble-free. I'll explain one major thing that I had done to it here in just a second. Okay, we'll go ahead and fire it up. Key us to on. Once again, this has one of those really funky clutch cancel buttons, so you can push that, and if we put her in neutral, which she is, you can start it without your foot on the clutch. Cool, let's pop the hood and take a look. So there she is, the 22RE, the fuel-injected version of the famed 22R, the so-called bulletproof 4-cylinder that Toyota made for years. I really like this motor, and honestly, it doesn't, even with the miles it has, it doesn't eat any oil or leak any coolant. It holds everything pretty well with the exception of the clutch fluid right there. I have the same problem in my Camry. It's probably one of the master cylinder or something like that, but that'll all come in time. Some things have transitioned over from the Land Cruiser. Eeyore's still back here, looks like he fell over. So I wanted a truck, but I wanted something that I could put all my friends in. Seats in the back, but yet this is pretty much the exact same body style of the old Toyota pickup with the removable cap. I haven't had the courage to remove this cap because supposedly it weighs 200 pounds and it's a pain, and I don't have a garage right now, so I'd worry about it getting rained on. There is one power window in this vehicle, and that is the rear window, and mine actually works. I lucked out big time there. I'm pretty happy about that. Did a little homage to Toy Story right there, if you can point that out. But so the story on this truck, I actually bought it from the original owner, believe it or not. He had bought it, it was an Arizona truck for the first 10 or so years of its life, which is why it hasn't completely rusted away, but I've definitely been fighting some rust. I am no body man, I will admit. This looks pretty bad. I had 2 days to get it through inspection, so I sanded down what I could, and then I did the Bondo fiberglass kit for the rest. Eventually in time, I'm hoping to source some fenders at a junkyard that aren't like that, and then eventually down the road see what I can do for the quarters. But luckily the rockers and the body underneath are pretty solid. I'm not going to worry about them for a while. The tires on them have good tread, and all in all it was $500 for something that I could walk away with that day and drive. Now, the big Achilles heel of this engine, there's some other YouTube videos about this that are really great, is that if you're not up on the maintenance, it can get to the point where your timing chain starts rubbing through your timing chain guides, which are made of plastic, and they're made for plastic for a reason. People like to rant about that, but the plastic has to be the fail point for the chain. But anyway, the chain will wear through the guides, and then it'll start wearing through the timing cover, and then it can puncture a water jacket, and then you've got a huge mess. Well, when I bought it, the reason it was $500, even though in my opinion it's in quite good shape, the owner says, oh, the engine's got a knock. And I said, you know what, I think I know what that might be, and I took the chance. And I pulled the valve cover, and I'll show you some pictures here. Sure enough, that driver's side timing chain guide was loose as all get out. So I had my trusted mechanic do the timing chain and guides and tensioner and all that jazz, and it runs a lot better now, and I feel really confident about it. The other thing is that, well, the clutch is good, and it goes through all the gears, and it doesn't slip or anything like that. Fifth gear is pretty much turned into another neutral, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to look into getting transmission rebuilt, or maybe just the fifth gear redone. I have a theory that fluid leaked out and fifth gear is the highest from the top, so that was able to eat itself to bits first, but we'll see. But all in all, even at the 4-speed, doing 65 miles an hour down the highway, I only register at $3 grand, which I know isn't ideal, but it's good enough for now. So I love these, my friends call them smoking windows, but angle them so you just have air coming straight into your face. I really don't even need the air conditioning though. So yeah, while it's not exactly something that I'm going to be beating on, it is really fun to be up nice driving a truck and having something that's 4-cylinder, so it gets me a little bit better fuel economy. And I've hauled many a moped in the back of that, and they fit pretty well back there. So, alright YouTube, well, if I end up doing anything extreme with this, or if I ever decide to go romp around in the woods, I'll see if I can get some footage, but this is my daily driver for right now. Alright, until next time YouTube.